Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Stephen, for doing that. So today, Denise asked me to chair this meeting, and since we originally thought that she would be here for this piece of the meeting, but she's not because now she's off the committee. But in order to make this official, what I'd like to do is also just take a vote that it's okay that I'm chairing the meeting. Right, so what I'll first do is call the meeting to order and take attendance, and then we'll have that vote so that I can do the chairing.
Do you need a motion, Joanna?
Yes, I need a motion.
I'm moving to
Second.
chair this meeting.
Second.
Okay. Anybody all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll continue on. All right,
You know
call
what,
to order.
Madam Chair, you
Yes.
actually need to do a roll call vote since
Yes,
it's fully, yeah, okay.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is call the meeting to order and take attendance, and then I will do the roll call of the vote.
Okay, got it.
So I call the Finance Committee meeting of July 15th at 4 p.m. to order. This is a Zoom meeting. We are participating via Zoom. You can watch it on the town's YouTube channel. Please take care not to share your screen and to keep any sensitive information to yourself. So I'd like to take attendance. I'll just go in the order of the Hollywood Squares, and we'll start with Peter Schaefer,
Here.
Joe Wright,
Here.
Martin McCarroll,
Here.
Anthony Gudemond,
Yeah.
Jill Veith,
Here.
Chris Glowacki,
Here.
Jeremy Bloomer,
Here.
Rob Giacchetti,
Here.
and people from town administration, Stephen Hunter.
Here.
Susan Carmel,
Here.
Ryan Turbay,
In attendance.
and Tom Dixon. Well, he can wave at us.
He's muted.
And Dawn. I see Tom and Dawn, but I do see someone who is SOAR ID. Is that the minute taker? No.
Madam Chair, that's our finance intern. I invited her to the meeting so she can see the process of how the year-end transfers work.
That's great. I think that she's supposed to have her real name on the
It's her first initial and last name, Shannon Reed.
okay.
Is
great.
that the one you're referring to?
There we go. It's
Okay,
on.
there
It's
we
on.
go. It's
Sorry
right
about
there.
that. It was a last minute invite on my part. I just realized I should have had her here.
Just like
Okay.
magic.
Okay, great. So then I'm going to now just call the vote that we just had so that it's official, right? So I'm going to do that whole thing again on just Finance Committee members. So Peter,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Martin,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Rob.
Aye.
Okay, great. Well, now we'll proceed. So I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, again, roll call vote. Peter,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Martin,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Joanna. Aye. Okay, so we're going to open the meeting for public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I close the meeting for public comment. All right, and now I'm going to pass this over to you, Brian, to review and so that we can do the approval of the transfers and the reserve fund transfers.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. We'll take the regular transfers first. Stephen will share them. Madam Chair, Don Holgate has
Yep,
her hand
I
up.
see that. Dawn,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was trying to find the hand raise for the public comment. I just wanted to say welcome to the newest members. That's all.
great, thank you. All right, go ahead, Brian.
I'll take you through the general fund and then we'll go through the enterprise fund, Madam Chair, and we'll just have you vote them all as one bundle, if that's okay.
Yep.
So we're proposing transferring from town admin $15,000 to the finance committee operating. This is typically we do this every year because we don't know exactly what the cost of printing of the warrant will be, and the majority of the printing of the warrant is allocated to the finance committee. In the finance department, transferring salaries in the amount of $120,000 to operating expenses, primarily related to OpenGov. The finance department paid for the first year of the asset management software we did have a grant for the installation of that. and help with the installation from the state with Hazen and Sawyer, but we utilized OpenGov for asset management for water and sewer, and we paid for that out of our budget in the first year before we knew what departments were going to be starting that process. Public Works salaries, 130,000 to the fire department operating account, 130,000. This is primarily related to the increased number of new firefighters that we sent to the academy. The town pays the cost of housing, and I think it's a 15 or 16 week program. So it's, we pay for the full cost of housing, as well as meals and things for that when they're, on town sponsored training. And
Hey,
so-
Brian, can I ask
Yeah.
a question?
Yep.
If we hire a fireman and we send him to school, does he have to sign a commitment to stay here a certain amount of time?
That would have to be negotiated. The police, there is a commitment. The fire department doesn't currently have that same requirement, but it's something that we've talked about internally, Peter.
Okay, thank you.
And Brian, this is Jeremy. Where do you put up everyone for this in the fire department?
We actually were using hotels, but we have found it much cheaper to be renting Airbnbs, where we can put more than one firefighter in the Airbnb. Right now, I think we have 5 firefighters at the academy, and we have them spread across 3 Airbnbs relatively close to the academy in Stowe, Mass.
Thanks.
From street lighting operating 110,000 to town clerk operating 110,000. This is mainly related to not only annual town meeting, but special town meeting costs. We had a special town meeting that I think was a little bit more expensive than we anticipated. And then with the annual town meeting on Saturday carrying over until Monday, we had all the cost of options tech and the sound as well for that. So we need some additional funding there. Madam Chair, Jill has her hand up.
Or Jill?
Sorry, Brian, real quick on the fire department money, was that also for existing firefighters who were
The
going?
majority of that is all
Life,
related
advanced
to
life,
the
new ones.
new firefighters that are at the academy, because not only do we pay for all of their housing and everything, but it's also the new equipment costs for the gear that they need as well.
Okay, because I didn't know if this was for going from basic life saving.
No.
advanced
No,
life
this
saving.
is for them to be able to be counted on the line as a firefighter. They have to go through the academy before they can start counting towards shifts and on the line, and they're limited in what they can do prior to attending the academy. So
Thank you.
fire department salaries into operating in the amount of 6,000. This is merely some additional costs for the police academy for some of the new recruits that they had and new employees for replacing previously departed police officers. So then we have a small transfer there. Public Works salary into public buildings operating 150,000 is related to the custodial services related to cleaning all of the town buildings that we have. We had put out a contract, got no bids, then put another one out, and it came in markedly higher than the prior firm that had been doing it was charging us. So we need some additional funding there. Public Works salary.
Hey, Brian, just on that, when you're getting that custodial services with the new bid,
Mhm.
what's the implied hourly rate for those contract workers?
I'd have to look, Jeremy, because it's across, I think, 15 or 16 buildings, and I think it's close to 18,000 a month right now. So I'd have to look at what it is across that.
Okay.
Public Works, let's see which one. Public Works salaries into Public Works operating is made up of a few different things. There's some road construction that wasn't related to capital articles that the DPW director took out of there. There's also some additional tree work for the tree warden that came out of there. And also the DPW director and the central fleet administrator have done a really great job in getting a lot of the DPW vehicles procured that were part of capital articles, but in a few varying instances, there were some cost had risen by the time we had got there. So we funded the delta out of this to be able to actually continue the procurement of those vehicles. Public Works salaries into plus operating, this 50,000 is solely related to additional services for the master plan that I'm sure everybody on the committee has heard about and gotten various links to go and participate in reviewing it. or offering input to it. Again, public works salaries into Park and Rec operating. This was just some additional equipment repair for the Parks and Recs maintenance equipment that we needed to fund. Medical insurance, 671,000, solely related to additional short-term debt interest that we had, that we ended up taking out some bands that for capital projects that we hadn't anticipated and doing and needing at the time we did it. So we have some additional interest costs that we have to absorb in this year's budget. Stephen, could you slide down if there's no other questions?
Well, yeah, actually, Brian, $670,000.
Yep.
Is that because our actual number of employees is below the budgeted number that you can remove that?
It's a combination of things, Jeremy. It could be switches from higher tier plans into lower tier plans. It's also a combination of that when we set this budget last year, we believed that the rate was going to trend roughly the same as medical rate inflation. We actually budgeted a little bit higher than that at about 9.5%. And we ended up having a very small rate increase of about 3%. So that's where a lot of that delta comes from as well. And if you remember, we're starting to plan now for all of these costs, even for fiscal 27 with health insurance and everything. And what the rate ultimately will settle out at almost a year from now is always kind of a moving target. We're
Right.
glad when the rate is not anywhere near what we've budgeted, but it is that's the primary driver for that ability to transfer that money.
And a question on the interest for a sec. The 670,000 that you needed to pull from somewhere, why was the budgeted amount, more than what you had budgeted before, or why was the actual amount need this?
Well, because we ended up needing to do some bans for projects that when we originally had gone through it initially, we hadn't anticipated that they were going to start. So for cash flow purposes, we like to try to issue bans for work so that we're not taking from our pooled cash, so that we can leave that for investment when we have borrowing authority for these. And so, and I think the interest rate might have been ticked up a little bit more than we had expected as well, even though we still get some of the lowest interest rates around. We're predicting in a budget basis now what we're going to ultimately sell 14 or 15 months from now in terms of what we have to pay back once we sell it. So it's also a moving target with the interest rate.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Brian, I have a question about the public works salaries line. So
Yep.
that's quite a lot of money coming out
Sure.
of work salaries. Can you
And
talk about
yeah,
that?
absolutely. So the large majority of that really is just due to the timing of the open positions and difficulty in filling some of the open positions that they've had. As an example, it's taken quite a long and winding journey to get to hiring an engineer, which we may be getting to the end of that position. That's in the budget, I believe, at around 140,000. So that full year salary for fiscal 2025 wasn't expended. And then you have resignations, and then the time to fill those positions or open positions such as laborers and things like that, things of that nature, which the DPW director and his staff have been working hard to fill, but they also can present some challenges to fill. So that's the main reason why there's some salary coverage there that we could utilize.
Ryan, if I may, it's Anthony. Do you have any idea, is there an average time to fill on the higher level roles?
On the the average is right now is around 110 days from start to finish, all the way through.
Okay, thank you.
Stephen, would you slide down to the next one? Perfect. So in the enterprise funds, actually, I should also remind everybody, especially the new committee members, I apologize, Madam Chair. These year-end budget transfers are authorized under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 33B, which allows year-end with the Select Board and Finance Committee approval to transfer unexpended amounts from one operating budget to another. Again, as noted, it is required and takes a positive vote from both the Select Board and the Finance Committee. I would let the Finance Committee know that this morning at 11 o'clock at the Select Board's licensing hearing, they did vote to approve the transfers that we're presenting to you now. In airport, moving 211,000 to two capital projects, the ARF truck and runway 6-24. The reason for this is at the annual town meeting, through various discussions between my department and the airport, we inadvertently removed borrowing authorizations in these amount for these projects. And so we need to be able to fund these to pay the final bills. Stormwater operating to salaries is just it's a function of the comp and class study that the town had done and where the stormwater director fell when we were building this budget that hadn't been fully finalized. So we need to transfer $6,000 from the operating budget. And then OAH salaries into operating. This is a function of numerous open registered nurse positions, and not having filled the director of nursing and the assistant director of nursing for a period of time. As the committee is aware, we utilize to a greater extent due to the open registered nurse positions, we utilize travel nurses. And that's a big portion of the budget, which we're working very hard to try to fill those with on-island staff, but it's rather difficult. And then also the contract positions, we contracted with EF Associates for the director of nursing and the assistant director of nursing, which I believe the director of nursing, excuse me, has now been filled with a permanent full-time town employee. So that is a good thing. So that'll reduce the reliance on contract positions for that, and that'll move it back into the budget where I think it's we're happy to have that. So,
and what is the difference in cost between what we would like to hire somebody for and what we have to use a visiting nurse?
Well, we get charged for the travel nurses, $3,800 a week plus housing for them. So it's about $200,000 a year, roughly, or more for travel nurses.
It's about double, isn't it?
Yeah, it's far more than, it's probably even a little bit more than double, to be quite honest with you, Joe. But there's a shortage of RNs on the island, and it's difficult to fill those positions, and we need to have them on staff. So we don't have a choice but to go to travel nurses to provide that service.
So Brian, is this really just like an offset to professional services?
It is exactly what it is. It's all savings for the positions on the salary side that we're just moving because we procured and utilized the services in a different mechanism, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you.
So the transfers in the enterprise fund total $1,167,000. And then if you scroll back up for me, Stephen, I did not do this. And transfers on the general fund, $1,407,500.
Can we have a motion, please?
Motion to accept.
I second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Martin. I think he's saying yes, he's muted. Anthony,
Yes.
Chris,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
and Joanna, aye. Okay, the motion passes. And now I think, Brian, you have one more thing.
We do. Thank you, Madam Chair. So we have reserve fund transfers, which, as you know, annual town meeting, we raise and appropriate and allocate to the reserve fund $500,000. This $500,000 is utilized at the sole discretion of the Finance Committee. It under the statute, under Chapter 40, Section 6, can only be used to cover unanticipated increases in cost or unanticipated expenditures of an emergent basis. So we're requesting to be transferred $270,000 total, broken up between $120,000 into legal. General, this is I think it's really a combination of all of them, but it's primarily just additional litigation and other costs associated with town council in the town, as well as the housing and rent employee housing, $150,000. This is an increase because as everybody on the committee, for most members that are on the committee are aware, it's very difficult to find housing. A lot of employees struggle with finding housing, and during last year, we had put out a procurement to secure housing from people who had apartments. It didn't actually get a lot of interest, but immediately after that, we were overwhelmed with the amount of people that suddenly approached the housing office with opportunities to rent. So we took advantage of those to have a larger number of available places to place transient employees. So we're requesting $150,000 from the reserve fund for that. Below,
Brian, is this the gross up plan that we have?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that is correct. So the majority of the housing that the town rents, there is employee contributions, and this is the gross up after we went through and accounted for the additional units that we hadn't anticipated securing at that time.
thank you.
Okay. Any questions, conversation? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Motion,
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Peter,
aye.
Joe,
aye.
Martin. Just wait. Anthony,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
and Jill.
Aye.
Motion-
Madam Chair, one thing with this, Stephen will send it to you in right signature tomorrow. We need to just notate that it was approved and you need to sign it so that it completes our policy that we have. So we'll send that through the document signature platform that we have. And if it's okay with you, Madam Chair, I'm going to exit the meeting for the rest of it.
Okay.
I need to leave to go somewhere if that's okay.
Brian, can I ask you just for a second?
Yes.
I suggested to Brian and Denise that we try and organize some sort of a course, short course, half day or day on municipal accounting. I know that it's something that I would enjoy, and the exercise we've been through is a function of municipal accounting, and it's different than corporate accounting.
Yeah.
You want to think about that, or?
Sure, Madam Chair, through you to that comment. We actually internally have talked about it, and I think we've actually already indicated to both new members that we're developing an orientation, and as soon as we've kind of worked through it, we planned on that, and certainly would make it available to other members of the Finance Committee if they were so inclined to attend as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is to elect a chair and vice chair. Do we have some conversation around that? Yes, Joe.
Can I nominate Jill for chair?
Yes, you can. So just hold that thought. I just want to make sure. Hold that thought. I want to make sure that we're all going in the right direction here. So this is the conversation we're going to have. Okay? So we're going to take we'll take a nomination for the chair first, and then we'll have a vote, and then we'll take a nomination for the vice chair, and then we'll have a vote, and then we'll do committee appointments. Fair? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Joe, we can entertain your nomination now.
I nominate Jill Beath for chair.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, great. I'd like to do a roll call vote unless there's any conversation about this. Okay, Peter,
aye, yes, whatever.
Martin. Okay, Rob,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Jeremy.
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Jill.
Aye.
Yes. And Joanna, aye. So that passes unanimously. Congratulations, Jill. That is very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
I,
Thank you for your willingness to
only
serve.
a- I've got only a one thing to say to you guys. I am not Denise. Well, good
Okay.
luck with Jill.
And we're gonna check it each week and see if you raise to the occasion.
Oh my gosh, no, please don't compare me to Denise. She's incomparable. So
No,
I'm really humbled and honored, and thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, now we'll take a nomination for the vice chair.
Joanna, I'd like to nominate Joanna Roche.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Second, okay, great, thank you. And now we'll do a roll call vote for Joe.
wait, can we just have discussion,
Oh,
please?
yes, discussion. Yes, we can have discussion.
Joanna,
Yes.
I have a couple questions. Number one is, do you really have the time to do this with as busy as you are in your other assignment? And number two is, are you going to be at all the meetings? Just two easy answers.
Yes, I think yes, yes and yes. I mean, I think that I missed very few meetings this year, maybe 2 or 3. And yeah, I think that having been on this committee for nearly 10 years, I think it'll be okay. And, Jill and I have had some conversations and I feel confident that we can do it.
Okay.
Agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll do the vote.
Thank you
Peter?
both.
Okay, we'll take the vote. Peter?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Martin?
You're on mute, Martin.
Martin, you gotta unmute.
Yes.
Okay, Rob?
Aye.
Anthony?
Aye.
Jeremy?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And Joanna will vote for Joanna. Thank you. Okay, the motion passes. Okay, we have some new leadership at the FinCom. All right, committee appointments. So what I understand right now is that we have 4 different committees that we have appointments to, and maybe 5. I don't know if the town council study committee is still active. Is that a question?
Yeah, Joanna, what I was gonna say on that, Jeremy has been the alternate,
Okay,
and I don't know if he'd like to continue on. I don't know how much longer that committee will meet yet. Well, Joe Grouse, I'll just update you guys on it now. He did just write a report. It's a draft. The committee will have to get back together, see if they want to approve that, make edits. So there's still a little bit more time with that committee because then they'll need to present that report to the select board. But whether or not that committee continues in its current form, I don't know, but it does need to continue for a little bit longer. So, and you know, Jeremy went to all the meetings, and I would be more than thrilled if he would like to take that on.
I will certainly finish it up and then see where we go from there on the committee.
Yeah. That would be great. I mean, are you gonna take votes on these, Joanna, or are we just gonna do volunteers?
I'll just do it at the end. We'll just go through it and then we'll make one vote at the end for all the committee appointments. So there's also our Island Home and Solid Waste. That was you, Peter. Is that something you want to continue?
Well, I don't know if there's gonna be an R Island home anymore either, but I'll stay on that if there is. And the waste committee is just a waste. It's gone. Really, there hasn't been a meeting in 4 months.
Okay,
So
but if there is one, are
if
you,
there is one, I'd be more than happy to go.
okay, so we're gonna leave you as the designee for those 2 committees.
Okay.
Well, unless someone else wants to
Unless
do it.
anybody else. wants-
Anybody, yeah, solid waste, anybody?
Okay,
It's one of the more interesting ones. I am.
Well, it used to be, now it's done now. So I mean, we've already hired a new company to run, well, the same company. The contract is essentially complete. So there's really not anything to do unless we go on future things, which I don't know what they're gonna be doing next.
mhm.
I mean,
And-
in all honesty, it's not the outside couple of people that are around are very rarely even invited to the meetings. It's very strange.
Well,
we still need a designee, so.
No, I'll stay there. It's fine. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Jill, how are we handling Capcom?
If it's okay with the committee, I want to stay on one more term. We changed our Rory system and we're still going through that. And I got to work through some issues with Brian on it, and I'd like to see that through if I can. And, you know, I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. I'm hoping we don't have 260 million at capital this year, but I don't know. And it's a weekly meeting. We all meet in person. We obviously can't, our hybrid too, but it really is like an in-person weekly meeting. Basically from the beginning of August, and we really didn't finish until February.
Does anybody else want to be on Capcom, or are we leaving it for Joe? Okay. And then CRC, which is the committee that I'm on, and I have some similar feelings to Jill, which is that I put in a lot of work on that committee, and I would also like to see that I would like to follow that through unless there's anyone here who wants desperately to take on the CRC. Okay. I think that's it. And so I guess we'll have a motion to accept all of the committee appointments.
I move.
So moved.
Second,
Great. We'll do a roll call vote. Peter,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Martin,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Jill,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Joanna, I. Okay, that passes. Do we have some other business? Anything that others would like to discuss today?
I just wanted to bring up, if you all have things that you want the committee to learn about this year, just like Joe was mentioning, maybe having a little session on immunity finance with Brian, but if there are other topics and you think it's something what we won't address through the warrant process and you want to have a discussion or learn something about, I know I have a few things that I want to bring up. Please reach out to me and maybe we can coordinate. It wouldn't necessarily be a mandatory meeting, but because we would all be together, we would still have to make it a public meeting. And so if there is something particular that's on your mind or you want to learn about, I can't guarantee that we can do it, but we can certainly try.
Do we have to respond to the open meeting complaint?
They did respond. That's the letter that you got in your email. You have
Okay.
your email went to
I
everyone.
didn't see the response. Maybe I just didn't read it correctly.
And that was just about not publishing minutes, wasn't it?
Yes, which has been
And-
addressed.
Do we have that process at present is more current?
Yeah, well, we have been doing that. We've been approving minutes because Stephen actually has been working on the minutes all spring, so they have addressed that issue. And that complaint is closed out if you go back and read the letter.
Okay, Chris, I know you wanted to say something and then Joe will go to you.
Yeah, I have kind of just a quick one for Jill. I'd love you to talk to town council. I was a little bit confused in one of our last meetings in the last session where town council said we don't follow Robert's rules in this committee. And that's contrary to what it says on the front page of the town bylaw.
Right.
So again, there aren't so many times where that comes up where it's an issue.
Yeah.
I think it
Well,
would be
no,
great
you
to-
are, I think you're our parliamentarian. And I really
Well-
like that about you because you really know the rules and the history. So that's a good question.
It just caught me off guard. It was kind of a little weird thing I thought that town council said. So if you wouldn't mind just getting
Yeah.
some clarity on that. I recognize that town meeting has its own rules that it follows. That's, often discussed, but I think that's not the same with town committees.
Great. I'd be happy to chase that up.
Joe,
Are we not having a September meeting this year? Has that decision been made or is that something still out there?
good question. I don't know the answer to that question.
It's still out there. I don't think it will be in September if we have one. But there's no date that's been discussed yet, but it is still out there, Joe.
Yeah,
If it's still out there, it tells me it's, quite possible.
at one point, we were talking about bringing the nursing home back at that time, but it's not gonna happen. So, I think there might be one, but it'll be like you said, in October maybe or November.
But if it was to be sometime soon, you're gonna be hearing from me real soon. So I think that it just depends when the date is.
Well, go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna ask, is there a plan or thinking about hybrid versus in-person versus remote for meetings this year?
I personally like to be in person, to the extent that I can. I know that gets really tough February, March for everybody, myself included. But I like to be in person and, but I think the state rules are that you have to be hybrid. So we can't mandate that we're in person, but I certainly encourage it. Like, I think it made a huge difference at Capitol, but I certainly understand people not being able to.
Jill, I think part of the problem is that there's not enough conference rooms.
Right. Right.
I think we gotta get a schedule written immediately and have Stephen or whoever's in charge of assigning conference rooms get to work on that, because we're gonna get locked out again.
Yeah, I didn't know how today would go, so I haven't, even talked to the finance office about it, but we can definitely get working on that. For Capitol, we haven't had problems getting rooms too much, but we meet at 2 p.m. So I think that's probably what's kind of making the difference. Joanna, when do you all meet for CRC? Do you do that during the day?
We do it during the day. We do it in the morning. And typically it's a hybrid meeting as well because of the same challenges. We can't always get a room.
Yeah, I think that's why we can get rooms, is because they're in the day, but Denise always had us meeting at 4 o'clock. I think we thought that was the most generous time frame for the public, because so many of our meetings really
Correct. Yeah.
are trying to listen to the public. And if you all continue to like that time, like Tuesdays, Thursdays at 4, I'm happy to stick with that.
It fits with cocktail hour.
You're on for the first meeting, Joe. Bring the cocktails.
So if we can do that, I'm comfortable with that, if you all are, but if you have other thoughts, by all means, let me know. For maybe some of the things like looking at muni finance or looking at certain other issues, I kind of think we could just do that during the day. Because that's not a public hearing.
Right. And do we have a date scheduled for the next meeting, Stephen? That was going to be my
No.
question. No.
I don't know what the next meeting would be, really. Depends if there's special town meeting happening, I believe.
Yeah, there's nothing to meet on otherwise.
Not unless we
But
get any more budget transfers.
I should try
But I
to-
think tomorrow's your drop dead day, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's today, actually.
Oh, today's the 15th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Few hours.
All right.
Listen, we can make promises and change them just like our president. No problem.
All right. Does anybody have anything else for the meeting? Okay, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I would also just like to say thank you. And welcome to Martin and Anthony. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Peter,
Aye.
Martin,
Aye.
Rob,
Aye.
Anthony,
Bye.
Jeremy,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Jill,
Hi.
and Chris.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all for
Thanks,
coming.
Joanna. Thanks a lot for doing that.
You're welcome.
everybody. Have a
Everybody.
good night.
Bye.